termed him a godfather, that is former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, come 2019 for the presidential elections. And this has been generating ripples among political stakeholders, especially in the All Progressives Congress. Also in the program, we'll take a look at the issue of consensus, or what we call sole candidacy. And this is coming especially ahead the Governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, and other stakeholders in the People's Democratic Party tipping his deputy as the flag bearer for the People's Democratic Party come the 2018 elections in Ekiti State. And joining me on the program, as usual, our legal practitioners. I have with me Barrister Joe Nwokedi. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Viewers, I greet you. It's my pleasure.
All right, we also have today, he's a first time on the show, and it's my pleasure to welcome Barrister Kingsley Chime. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
All right. The recent statement by the Minister of Women Affairs, Aisha Al-Hassan, reaffirming her support for former Vice President Atiku Abubakar ahead of 2019 seems to have indeed signaled the beginning of jostling ahead of the 2019 presidential election. The minister had said in a BBC Hausa service interview that Atiku is her godfather and she would stand with him if he decides to contest the 2019 presidential election. This has indeed generated divided opinion among Nigerians. While some are calling for her resignation, others believe she has exercised her freedom of speech. Let's first take a look at what the Governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, has got to say about this. I'll be back to the studio. Do stay with us.
Saying is, Nigerians should not be surprised or shocked. This has always been her position because from time she has never supported Buharism or what Buhari stands.
As far as 2019 is concerned, my position is the president is looking very well. He is recuperating very fast. He's recovering. And my hope and prayer is that he will contest in 2019 and everything that our group is doing. And we have a group. We have a group of Buharists amongst governors, ministers. Our group wants to ensure that President Buhari runs in 2019. And if he chooses not to run, he will tell us which direction to go and we'll go. We are Buhari.
All right, that was the Governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, reacting to the outburst by the Minister of Women Affairs, Aisha Al-Hassan. He's saying the president, come 2019, the president is going to contest for the election. And indeed, this has so to say, put to rest agitations here and there that the president might not contest for the 2019 election. But coming from the Governor of Kaduna State, I think we'll hold him to that statement. However, a member of his cabinet, the president's cabinet, has said, come 2019, I'm not going to support you for the presidency. Barrister Nwokedi, I'll start with you. What does this seeming outburst signal to you? Is it disloyalty, or like some will say, a freedom of speech?
Well, it cannot be said to be viewed from the angle of disloyalty. And then antipathy also cannot come in because she's still a member of APC and she has not denounced her membership. And she's also calling for candidacy of somebody in the same party, APC also, not somebody in PDP. And in exercising her freedom of speech, I can say, yes, she has the right to decide. She has the right to choose, as is contained in our 4th schedule, fundamental human rights. She has the right to choose which person to succeed. And by our constitutional provision also, there is no blanket endorsement of the president in power. There is no place it is stated that other members of the party cannot contest. unlike what is obtainable in the United States of America, where the incumbent president is automatically the candidate of the party come next election. They don't contest primary against an incumbent president. But in Nigeria, it's not the case here. A person from a party can contest election with the president of the same party, with the governor in the same party, from the same party, from the same everything, can still challenge the incumbent president. So, and the woman made her preference to Atiku. She has her reasons. She has her convictions. She has said that Atiku has been her godfather. And she also said that Buhari, the president, made it known to them that he's not going to run come 2019. So she premised her decision on that. That for the fact that the president, according to her, earlier stated that he's not going to recontest come 2019, that the next choice of hers ought to be Atiku. And she's standing with Atiku, and then calling Atiku her godfather. Of course, we knew what transpired when she was having Lego Tozo with Darius, the current Ishako, in Taraba State. She's widely known as Mama Taraba, and she gave Darius good runs for everything. And then behind the scene, we are saying this is Atiku speaking through the woman. It was very clear that she has the backing and the support of Atiku, even when she was in the ring. So coming up to say that she wants to support Buhari, I don't think she has done anything wrong. Then if, like what El-Rufai has vividly and rightly said, that Buhari will contest, that whereas the president decides otherwise, that he will communicate them, that he's not going to throw himself to the ring, then they will now decide the next direction that they will take in terms of their support, and their loyalty and their support towards the next candidate that will assume the flag of the party, APC. But her statement, viewed from another angle, might seem coming too early, because it's not yet the time for election. We have not yet. We are still 2017. We still have 2018 before April 2019. It's not yet the time for primaries. They're not preparing for election. They're not preparing for primary. APC, no party is going to election now. People are like doing underground networking and other things, but it's not yet time for election. Although she didn't expressly campaign by saying Atiku has done this, Atiku has done that. Has she done that? She would have breached the law, because campaign has not been lifted for them to go public. But she just voiced her opinion. But then for me, it's coming too early. It's coming too early.
All right, Barrister Chime, what's your view? Shehu Gabam, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, says the decision of the minister to openly declare her support for another aspirant for the office when he has not openly said so, he said he will contest, is a clear indication of a serious crack in the Buhari administration. Do you think so?
Well, he may be right, he may be wrong. He may be speaking from a vintage position.
All right.
But the one thing is clear here. The woman has every right, constitutionally, to express her opinion as to her preferences come 2019, which she has clearly done. Of course, society generally frowned at such a statement because she is a cabinet member of this government. He is a sitting minister of Buhari. So they were suggesting that if this woman should go ahead and make this kind of statement, it actually shows that there is no total loyalty to the president. But I disagree.
All right.
Yes, I disagree, because if you look at how APC came into power in 2015, it is actually amalgamation of different political groups, interests. And of course, the woman belonged to a certain group of people before they came into power. So you don't expect her within the space of 2.5 years to jettison them. And of course, she has been part and parcel of this government. There may be things she has seen, she has felt, but she has noticed. And she has come up to say openly, this is who I'm going to support come 2019. I do not think it's out of place. If you look at what happened in the past, of course, towards the last days of late President Irenoa, one of his ministers, I think Dora Akujele, late also, came up and made statement in that state of the nation. And she clearly stated her position. That does not show loyalty. Of course, it should be commendable. If she has seen something and she felt that I cannot support you, she has her reasons. Nobody should question her moral probity. That is my take.
What about the time? Don't you think this is coming rather too early?
Well, of course, in Nigeria's certain political situation in this country is that everybody looks at the next election instead of the next generation. So once government comes in, they will start preparing for the next 4 years. But that ought not to be so. This is 2.5 years in the life of this government. What they should concern themselves with should be whether or not they have met the requirements or they have been able to deliver on their campaign promises. That should preoccupy their minds.
All right, you're still watching Democracy and the Rule of Law, and we are taking a look at the outburst by the Minister of Women Affairs, Aisha Hassan, that come 2019, if he decides to, she's going to throw a weight behind former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, for the presidency. Just stay with us as we'll be right back. You're welcome back, and just joining us on the show is Barrister Habib White. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. What's wrong with your voice?
Good to be here.
Okay. I'll quote what she said. That is the Minister of Women Affairs, while speaking with BBC Hausa Service. She said, and I quote, "Atiku is my godfather even before I joined politics. And again, Baba Buhari did not tell us that he's going to run in 2019. And let me tell you today that if Baba said he's going to contest in 2019, I swear to Allah, I will go before him and kneel and tell him that, Baba, I am grateful for the opportunity you gave me to serve your government as a minister. But Baba, just like you know, I will support only Atiku because he is my godfather." What do you make of this?
The statement is very, very good for our politics. And it's good for the polity itself.
All right.
Somebody has come out sincerely to let us know that our president is not performing to what she must have expected. It is very,
Is that what you think?
That is my opinion about the statement. What she's telling us is, I am a current serving minister. I am not going to support my principal or my boss if he says he's coming back to power 2019.
Because he told me then he was not going to contest.
Very
I think
well.
that's the bone of contention.
That is it. But right now, there is an underlying statement in those words for those that are knowledgeable enough, for those that can see beyond their nose. It shows there is a problem. Apart from the fact that President Muhammad Buhari is the president of Nigeria right now that we're saying about. Now, look at the rate of development as to the APC agenda. Are they fulfilling their mandate that have been given to them? Somebody is working under you and the person felt, if you think you are still going to contest, I am not going to support you. I would rather support another person. Some people have said that statement is bad. Constitutionally, she has a right. But morally, morality will now come into place.
All right.
That's where the pity will come. And that's most of the time, that's where we get it wrong in our country. Between morality and legality, there's a yawning gap. It's a big gap. She has a right to her own opinion, and that opinion best suits her and to those that want to check the integrity of those statements. I think she has a right. She said what her mind is all about.
And it's not been disloyal to her principle.
This is not loyalty. This is not about loyalty. By the time we start putting sentiment or bias in this issue, we overplay the real thing itself. It's not about loyalty. It's about competence and continuity. Nigeria do not need anybody that will make this country go back. We need somebody that will make this country go forward. So it's our opinion on who we want to choose. We are electorate. She's an electorate too. She's working for the good government of this country. She's working and she believes some things are not okay. So now she has an opinion to tell every one of us. She's been sincere enough. She's sincere enough. Others will not come out openly and say that. As some people say, maybe because she's a woman. That's the way women will behave, you give them power and everything. Now, you see, Nigerians, we have this way of shying away from reality. We have a way of shying away from it. Let us feel the real thing. Why haven't we checked why this woman has said that statement? She has her reasons. She has her reasons. And the reasons might be important to us to know too as Nigerians. So we will know what to do 2019.
So you're thinking we shouldn't just jump into conclusion right now, but get to know why she made the statement. All right. Barrister Nwoke, do you expect the presidency to take action in the coming days? Many are already calling for her resignation. Or do you think she should still even remain as a minister even after making the statement?
Yeah, for me, I will rather subscribe to the fact that she will remain. like I said earlier when I made my statements, she has never been somehow recalcitrant or in opposition to the party as a party, or even to the government as a government. She didn't speak against the government. She speak about an individual. For goodness sake, Buhari is not APC, and Buhari is not the government. Buhari is the head of the government. He's the head of the government. I'm not the government. She is serving the government. If she's found wanting in her own place of duty or obligation, it's a clear issue. Based on whatever verifiable facts, maybe her level of non-performance or her level of inefficiency or whatever, they can use that as a ground to relieve her of her duty. But if it is predicated or premised on this statement she made, they should go against that. For me, it is malicious. It's not going to be fair. They rather use the index of her performance as a minister within the specified area of assignment she's overseeing to determine her competence, whether she will continue or not. But if it's not at that angle, and they want to use because she expressed herself and said, okay, look at where I'm going to pinch my tent. Look at the person I'm going to support. She didn't even say that Buhari is not performing. She said that Atiku has been her godfather. And because maybe Atiku has informed her that he's going to run. And like I said before, within the political system, practice in Nigeria, anybody can challenge the incumbent from the same party. There is no law, unlike in US, that a president has a blanket authority over the ticket of the party, in as much as he remains the president, or he decides not to run. But if he wants to run, nobody from that same party will come up to challenge his candidacy. But if he decides not to run, anybody can come up. But in Nigeria, somebody from the same party can come and challenge the candidacy of the president of the same party. And members of the same party, members have the right to decide who to support. So she hasn't done anything. Atiku will come up to, even I heard Kwankwanzo is actually doing press up to contest also. And he hasn't told us whether he's going to do that under the platform of APC or PDP. He's a APC member. He has not seen presidential ambition. Atiku is not in presidential ambition. All of them ran during last election. And then I see where they are always behind the ring. And others may say, come up to challenge. Although people view it as being somehow disobedient to the leadership of the party. Now, why should you run against the president? It's a kind of an insult. But until our laws say otherwise. But for now, anybody is at liberty to do that. So for the woman to say, okay, look at where I will pinch my tent, maybe by her own conviction of what Atiku stands for, Atiku's pedigree, Atiku's performance, Atiku's maybe kind of approach to issues. And then what she believes that Atiku can do. And like from what the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir Rufai, said, he says she has never been part of Buhari's.
She has never believed in his ideology.
She has never identified with Buhari. And the woman even laid a solid foundation that this man brought her into politics. In fact, we have to give that woman a credit. Because basically what we witness in our political climate is this change of loyalty, hijacking of loyalty, or things like that. Where somebody can groom somebody from level of